Hey everyone, and welcome back to another exciting tutorial. In this video we are gonna look at how we can extract data from this PDF invoice into this format as a data frame. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so let's jump over to VS Code. I already have a file saved as IPython notebook. Let's do our imports. So we will import pandas, we will import RE for regular expressions, and we will import PDF Plumber library. Let's run this. It ran successfully. This means we have all the libraries that we need. Next, we open the PDF. So we use with PDF Plumber.open invoice PDF as PDF. So invoice is in the same folder as our code is, so we can just give the file name. So the file name is invoice. Let's just give the file name here. Once you open the file, we will extract the lines and save them inside of a list. We will use page.extract text, and then we will use a loop and extract all of the data inside of text variable as a list. Next, we save this in lines and we say text.split with /n. Let's run this and let's take a look at lines and let's see what we have here. You can see we have this data extracted in the format of lines. So if I open this side by side, right, so you can see we have the lines here: Robert Michael invoice, then we have more information, invoice number, invoice date here, we have the due amount that is here, and then we have the description information, which is right here in 2 pages. Keep in mind that this is a 2-page PDF file, not just 1 page. Alright, so we need to create a new empty dictionary. We will call it invoice_data, and we will extract 3 main items, which would be invoice number, invoice date, and the balance due amount. In second portion, we will extract this information right here in this table format. Let's run this. Now let me paste a code item here, and then I will explain how it exactly works. So if I run this, you see we have the invoice number extracted as INV0001, which is correct, as you can see here, invoice 0001. Now let's go through it one by one and see what exactly it is doing. Alright, so the first thing you can see is that we are using enumerate lines. What it does is it loops through the lines list, giving both the index I and the actual line content. So for example, if I want to test this here, so I'm just going to copy paste for I line in enumerate lines, add a colon here, and here I will say simply print I and the line, and let's see what value this returns. Run this and you can see it returns an index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and the line value. So similar to what we have here, but just an index number that is being added to each line. This is what enumerate does. Next, we want to filter only those lines with the line has invoice in there. So if I do it here, I'm going to say if, I'm just going to copy and paste this here, if invoice in line, and then only we want to print this information. So if I run this again, you can see we have only one row that is being printed, which is first row at index 0, Robert Michael invoice, and it seems to have returned the result correctly. So far what we have done is we have replicated from here till here. Next, we simply say that once it has found invoice in the line, just simply return that line, and this portion does that. The next function simply returns the first value from the generator expression, and if the value is not found, it returns an NA. So for example, if I remove the +1 from here, this will now return the first value. So you can see it is returning Robert Michael invoice, but the actual line we want is below the first line, so we want this one. So what we will do is we simply add 1 to the I value. So what it will do is it will return the second index value. The second index value, as we saw before, was this one, invoice 001, and this is how we get the invoice data. We will use similar logic to return the data for invoice date and the due amount. So let me add the code here. I'm just gonna add the code along with the data we already have. So for invoice date, we add 2 in there because it will trace the date column, and then it will return this column. So you want to return the second row wherever it finds the date in the line. And for invoice balance, we are going to find balance due, which is going to be here, and then we return the next line to it. So we simply add +1 to it. Let's run this and let's just return invoice data as dictionary item, and you can see we now have 3 items that are being added to the dictionary, and it has traced it correctly. You can see that the invoice date has this zip code behind it. So if we look at the PDF file, you can see what it's doing is it is treating this as a whole line. So 33125, and then this is the date here. We are going to fix this date and remove the zip code from here in later steps. I'm going to remove this. I just added this for your understanding purposes. Alright, so this is done. What next we will do is we are going to extract the table items. Alright, so the first thing we'll do is we will declare a variable that as capture. We'll put this equals to false at the beginning. This will be used to track when we should start processing lines, because we have the data that is together, so we would like to know wherever we want to start capturing the information. Next, we loop through the lines we saved. So we already know that the lines we saved were in lines variable, so let's start looping through the lines. So we say for line in lines, and then we simply say if description, rate, quantity, amount in line. So if we find this value, next we do is we say capture equals true. Once the capture is set to true, this indicates that we should start now capturing the data from subsequent lines. And then we add continue, which skips the rest of the loop for this iteration so that the header line itself is not processed further. Next we add another if, and we say if capture equals true and line.strip. Then the line.strip ensures that we ignore empty lines, lines with only spaces, or new lines. If this is true, then we declare a new variable called parts, and we split the value into 3 parts using spaces. Once this is done, let's print parts and let's see what we have. And you can see we have captured the description values in our for loop, and you can see we have 3 values here. So first value is the description, eco-friendly makeup, then we have 64, 1 and 64. So basically it's saving each value in a list as 4 separate items. So first item, second item, third and fourth. Next thing we want to do is we only want to capture those lines where we have 4 different items. For example, in subtotal we only have 2 items, in text we have 1 item, here, here and here we only have 1 items. The last row has 4 items, but we will drop this later on in our code. So let me comment this out and let's add a new if statement here. So we say if length of parts equal 4, only then we append the items inside our list which we created. Actually we need an empty list that says items equals list. We need an empty list to store our values, these values here, which are being returned from the loop. So let's run this. Let's run this as well, and let's look at what we have in the items list. And you can see we have the correct value stored in our items list, each list containing 4 items, 1, 2, 3 and 4. You can see we have these items skipped, which were from here, subtotal, text, total and so on and so forth. Next thing we do is we simply convert this into a Python data frame. So we declare a new variable we call df equals pd.dataframe. Then we add the value that contains our list that needs to be converted to data frame, that is items. And then we simply declare the column name. So we say columns equals, and we give the columns description, rate, quantity and amount. Close the parentheses at df. Let's run this, and you can see we have the data frame converted from our PDF file. So you have this information right here. Let's get rid of balance due. So to do that we simply say df equals df again, and then we select the column name, description, and we say that not equals to balance. And let's run the df again, and we should not have this balance anymore, as you can see here. Alright, so far so good. What we need to do next is we have this information as a separate data frame, and then we have the basic information as a dictionary item. So what we need to do is we need to get this data together. So let's do that. Moving on to next portion, getting everything together. So we'll simply do is we will say df.assign, and we will use 2-star notation, and we will simply give the dictionary name, that was invoice data. So you can see the dictionary says invoice data, and let's give it a new variable name. So we call it df underscore updated, put it equals to this, and once we have this, let's take a look at the data frame as well and see what it has done. Alright, so you can see it added 3 new columns: invoice, invoice date, and invoice balance. And if you look above, we only had 4 columns. So it basically added this information. This was only one row, but it added and replicated this information in all rows. Right, so last thing we need to do is we need to get rid of this zip code that is inside the invoice date column. So we say df updated equals to itself. We actually want to work on the column name, so we give the column name. So we say invoice date equals to invoice date, then we add dot stir that accesses the string properties of this. We add a square bracket, and we simply want to select the values that are from 5 digits for zip, 6 is the space, so we want data from 6 onwards till the end. So we say 6, we add a colon, and then we simply look at the data frame again, and you can see we have this data corrected as well. So you can see side by side zip code is not here anymore, right? And as you can see, in few simple steps we were able to get data out of our PDF format inside of this data frame, which we can simply then extract to Excel format. So we can say invoice Excel data dot xlsx. We don't want the index, so we'll say index equals false. Run this, and if you look at our original folder, we should have an Excel file. Let's open it, and right here you can see your desired data in the format you wanted. Now you can use this for further analysis and do whatever fancy work you want to do with it. This code will work as long as your PDF has the same consistent format. If it's changing constantly, then a different solution would be needed. Right, that's it for this video. I hope this was a useful one little project for you and you get to learn new stuff. Till next time, happy coding.